Hello there my fellow developers, and this video is going to be about our fetch function or fetch API that we are going to use. So we are going to basically create a random word generator that will be very good. Okay, so this is how it will look like. So when you click the generate button, it will generate a word. We'll do that right now. Okay, so we don't have any JavaScript, but we have some CSS. Basically, let's get this down. So we have a simple CSS and we have some simple HTML, nothing else. Okay, now let's minimize all. So we are not going to learn CSS in this video, so that's why I just made it. So we are going to use the fetch function. Okay, and we are going to fetch some kind of data from an API, and that will be very simple. Okay, so I have CodePen open here. I'm not using VS Code right now because it's a very small project. Okay, let's make it full screen. And so we need an API. An API basically provides you data. Very simply, it provides you data. Okay, so let's start with it. So I got a very simple API that's let me bring it in. So that's random word API. Okay, so we are just if you search for it, like if you search for random word API, if you want any API, you can just search for it and then you're gonna get it. Okay, so the first link right here. Let's close this up. Let's make it full screen. So I get this API, and basically what this API is gonna do is, if you just go ahead and see this link, okay, if you replace this home with the API endpoint right here, if you have /word and then you can specify the number, you can say all, and you can also filter it with squares. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are simply going to fetch the data from this API and we are going to display it. Okay, so now using a fetch function is very easy. What I'm going to do is let's grab this link. Basically, let's replace this home. First of all, let's copy this link. Okay, and let's go to our CodePen, and what we're going to do here is we are going to say fetch. That's basically a function globally, and let's change the font size. Where is it? Let's go to settings, JS, HTML, editor. Yeah, so template. I don't know what's going on. So I don't know why I can't do this, but it's fine for now. Let's do that. Okay, let's get with the real work. So we have fetch as a function, and in here it takes a parameter. First of all, the first parameter is the URL. So let's paste that link. Okay, I just copied this line. Let's go back and let's copy this and let's paste this. Okay, now we are going to copy this and let's paste this. So what we are doing is we are just telling to fetch the data. Okay, nothing else. So let's fetch the data. Now first of all, we are providing one parameter. Basically that means you are getting the data. You are not posting anything, you're just getting the data. So let's get the data, and it returns a promise. Okay, so what you can do is, and if you don't know about promise, don't worry about that, just do what I say here. Okay, and I'll leave a link down in the description below to it's a very good article in medium.com about promises. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to say .then, so then you get basically the response. Okay, so we can say res is equal to, now this is an arrow function, we get the response. Let's name it response. Okay, and what you have to do is, it's an arrow function, so let's console.log the response. Okay, so the parameter that we have passed in here, I'm using an ES6 arrow function. You can also do something like this, but I don't want to do. Okay, so what we are going to do is, let's open up the console here. Maybe it should be here, and as you can see, we get the response. Okay, so this is the response, but where is our data? Where are our words? I can't find the words. You have the URL here, you have type, you have everything, but I don't get the words. Well, if you want to get the words, you need to convert this response to JSON where the words are. So we need to return basically the JSON format. So what I can do is I can just say return response dot JSON. Oops, JSON. Okay, this is a function, this is a method. So now if you take a look, let's clear up this console. We are returning the response.json. We are not getting anything because we are not console.logging anything. Okay, so we are returning it, and a short way of doing this is just getting rid of everything like curly braces also, and we can just say response.json. okay, so that will return response.json. so it's just a one line of code. You have to do one more dot then. So let's say dot then we get the data, and let's use the arrow function again, and let's console.log the data that we get. Okay, let's clear this, and now when the page will refresh, you will get it will fetch and will provide you with the data. Why is it not doing this? Let's refresh, reload frame. So we made a typo here. Okay, so you need to be very careful when you code. Let's respond console.log data. We got response here, but we are converting the response.json. okay, so we have an m here, so let's change it to n, and now this should work. Okay, you should fetch some data, and there we go. We get 10 words because what we are doing is we are just doing /word, and then we are passing this parameter number is equal to 10. If I set this to 5, and then you will see we'll get 5 words basically. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5, so any random words. We want only one word, so let's just say 1, and this should give us only one word, but it will give us in an array. Okay, we don't want it in an array, so let's see. Okay, what can we do? So we are just console.logging our data. How can we put this here? So first of all, let's select these. So this button has no ID or class, so I'm going to give it an ID of generate btn, and here we have an ID of word. Okay, nothing else. Let's clear this console. So now what we are going to do is we are going to say document, let's store this in variables. So I'm going to go up here, I'm going to say const generate btn equals document dot get element by id, and let's pass in the name generate btn. This is very bad. Okay, now let's duplicate this. Let's copy and paste this, and let's select the, what do we say, that should be the, what is this, word. Okay, so word equals word. Okay, now let's clear the console again. Let's see, now we get this data, and instead we are going to do a big arrow function, I mean a large one. So let's indent it, and we want to fetch the data when the button is clicked. Okay, so we can go up here and we can say generate btn, you see, btn dot add event listener, so let's do add event listener, and we are going to say the event, so that will be click. Okay, so the click event, and we're going to pass in an arrow function, nothing else. Okay, and that arrow function is going to contain this fetch. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this, I'm just going to paste it here. Okay, so we have the fetch, so we're going to fetch when the, okay, let's say 2 arguments required. We have the 2 arguments. It says unexpected token. I think there's nothing. Let's make this like, let's see if it gives us an error again. Okay, so no errors. Let's clear the console, and now let's console log the data again. So console dot log the data. So now when we click this button, okay, let it reload. When we click this button, we'll get the data. Okay, so you can see we get the data. If I click this again, we get the data again. Click this again, get the data again. So it's an array with just one word. Okay, so we just have one word right here, and we can select that word by index of 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the inner HTML of this word with this data. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's say, what do we want to do? Well, we want to take that word, so let's say word dot inner HTML, or you can also say inner text, okay, is equal to the data that we get index 0. Okay, and if I do something like data, if you see, let's save. No, I don't want to save. Okay, no problem. So let's clear the console. Oh no, I saved it. So now when we are going to click this button, it's going to replace this with the data that we get. Okay, let's make it smaller. So the data that we get, so if I click this button, what it will do is it will just say outgrowing. So it's not giving the array, but it's giving just the string of that array. Okay, this is not because we are passing in our HTML. If I say in a text, maybe this should give us the array. Okay, so let's say generate. No, it's not giving us, so no problem, but that's what we are doing. And we can simplify this by just removing and let's remove this. That's it. So now I can just go to the HTML and I can set this to random word and then save that. So now if you take a look, we get the random word, we get the generate button. So if I click it, it's going to just give us a random word. Okay, it's going to fetch the data, it's going to give us. So that was a fetch in simple terms. Okay, so how to use fetch? Pretty simply, we got this API. You can get many APIs like this. This is just an API with some random words, but there are a lot of APIs which provide you the data, but they have but then you have to sign up, and then you have to get the API key, and then you have to pass that in. So it's personal API key. Okay, so it's just very personal to you. Okay, so that's it for this video. If you want to get this code pen, I'm going to link this down in the description below if you want to see the code. And yeah, that's it of our fetch API to get the data. If you like this video, share it to your friends who are confused in JavaScript, and subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon to not to miss any notifications. Finally guys, thanks for watching.